जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। जयो निताय गौरंग जयो निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जयो निताय गौरंग। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य श्रोत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 31, The Movements of the Living Entities, Text 32. यदि असद्भिः पथि पुनः शेषणोदरकृतोद्यमहि आस्थितो रमते जन्तुस् तमो विशति पूर्ववत्। यदि असद्भिः पथि पुनः शेषणोदरकृत्योद्यमिः आस्थितो रमते जन्तुस् तमो विशति पूर्ववत्। यदि असद्भिः पथि पुनः शेषणोदरकृत्योद्यमिः हसितो रमते जन्तोस् तमो विशति पूर्ववत् नदी असद्भिः पति पुनः विष्णोदर कृतोद्महि हसितो रमते जन्तोस् तमो विशति पूर्ववत्. What word meaning? Yadi, if, asadbhihi, with the unrighteous, pathi, on the path, punaha, again, shishna, of the genitals, udara, for the stomach, krita, done, udyamaihi, whose endeavors, astitaha, associating, ramate, enjoys, jantuhu, the living entity, tamaha, darkness, vishati, enters, purvavat, as before. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. If therefore the living entity again associates with the path of unrighteousness, influenced by sensually minded people engaged in the pursuit of sexual enjoyment and the gratification of the palate, he again goes to hell as before. Translation with repetition. If therefore the living entity again associates with the path of unrighteousness, influenced by sensually minded people engaged in the pursuit of sexual enjoyment and the gratification of the palate, he again goes to hell as before. Purport. It has been explained that the conditioned soul is put into the Antha Tamisra or Tamisra hellish conditions, and after suffering there he gets a hellish body like the dogs or hogs. After several such births, he again comes into the form of a human being. How the human being is born is also described by Kapiladev. The human being develops in the mother's abdomen and suffers there and comes out again. After all these sufferings, if he gets another chance in a human body and wastes his valuable time in the association of persons who are concerned with sexual life and palatable dishes, then naturally he again glides down to the same Andha Tamisra and Tamisra hells. Generally, people are concerned with the satisfaction of the tongue and the satisfaction of the genitals. That is material life. Material life means eat, drink, be merry and enjoy, with no concern for understanding one's spiritual identity and the process of spiritual advancement. Since materialistic people are concerned with the tongue, belly and genitals, if anyone wants to advance in spiritual life, he must be very careful about associating with such people. To associate with such materialistic men is to commit purposeful suicide in the human form of life. It is said therefore that an intelligent man should give up such undesirable association and should always mix with saintly persons. When he is in association with saintly persons, all his doubts about the spiritual expansion of life are eradicated, and he makes tangible progress on the path of spiritual understanding. It is also sometimes found that people are very much addicted to a particular type of religious faith. Hindus, Muslims and Christians are faithful in their particular type of religion, and they go to church, temple or mosque. But unfortunately, they cannot give up the association of persons who are too much addicted to sex life and satisfaction of the palate. Here it is clearly said that one may officially be a very religious man, but if he associates with such persons, then he is sure to slide down to the darkest region of hell. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta Purport. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. If therefore the living entity again associates with the path of unrighteousness, influenced by sensually minded people, engaged in the pursuit of sexual enjoyment and the gratification of the palate, he again goes to hell as before. So, from the previous verses, we are seeing that the activities or the movements of the living entities, this human form of life, Lord Kapila explains, is given to elevate oneself to God consciousness. But if his association is not proper, incorrect, then he'll again go down to hell, from where he has come up to this human life. So in the purport, Sri Prabhupada explains about two kinds of association. One is with the saintly persons and the second is with the materially minded people. So we have always heard that sadhu sangha sarva shastra kaha, lav matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hai. So association of devotees or association of saintly people who are on the spiritual path, seriously on the spiritual path, elevates one rapidly to spiritual progress. And opposite of that is association of worldly minded people, degrades one rapidly to hellish life. So what is meant by association? Association means getting influenced is called association. Okay. And very nice analogy is given in Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter. Brahmani adaya karmani sangam tektva karotiya lippetena sa papena padmapatra ivambasa. The analogy of lotus leaf is given. That lotus leaf lives in water, but it does not associate with water. It's not influenced by the water, so it remains safe all its life. It's born there, it lives there, it dies there. But any other leaf, if you take banana leaf, mango leaf, whatever leaf you take, and if you put in water, it associates with water. It's influenced by the water. It attracts the nature of water and then it decays in a short while. So it's not about living there, it's about getting influenced by it. So we see so many things around and we get influenced. So same way there is influence of saintly people, there is influence of Bhagavatam, there is influence of deities, there is influence of Guru, Sadhu, there is influence of Prasadam, Sankirtan, so many things are there. We are living amidst these transcendental aspects. So associating means how much we are getting influenced by these. And at the same time, we interact with worldly people. Sometimes we see opulent house, sometimes we see so much of wealth, power, or so many things, materialistic possessions they have, some fancy thing they have. Immediately get influenced. Oh, I should have like this, or I should not have like this. So the whole thing is about getting influenced. So if a person has a proper barrier, proper immunity or insulation, then it will not get influenced. Like somebody is holding electric wire, but it's insulated wire and power is running through it, nothing will happen to him, right? Because proper insulation is there. So even though holding a live electric wire is ineffective because there is proper insulation. Same way, if the insulation is not there, you hold live electric wire, you will get shock. So same way, we are in this materialistic world, preaching in this materialistic world, means we are living in this material world and preaching here, living here, interacting with people here. So if you are insulated, then nothing will happen to us. And if you are not insulated, then we will get affected, we will get influenced, and again then influence of modes will happen and degradation will happen. So Lord Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Karanam guna sangosya sad asad yoni janmasu Purusha prakritisto hi bhungte prakritir jan gunan. So by influence of three modes, actually. So three modes are influencing. Means whatever the three modes, the effect they create, one gets carried away by those effects. That is the influence of three modes. But somebody who is determined, then he is not carried away by the influence of three modes. He is fixed up in devotional service. So Karanam guna sango asya. Guna sanga. Sanga means again association. Association means getting influenced. So modes have their own effect. And Lord Krishna says in 7th chapter that Daivi Esha Gunmai Mammaya Duratya, very difficult to overcome. But by devotional service, one can overcome. So Krishna is talking about two kinds of associations. One is association of Maya, and second is association of Krishna. In the same verse, one side Mama Maya Duratya, and second same verse he says, second line, Mam eve prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. So if one surrenders to Krishna, associates with Krishna, and the transcendental blessings given by Krishna, one can overcome the association or influence of the three modes. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord has explained about the three modes and their effect. At the same time, Lord says that actually living entity does not do anything. Only the three modes work. Right? In 5th chapter, Lord explains this, and sometimes it's very cryptic to understand. This is 6th. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. So, the embodied spirit means Dehi, master of the city of his body. He is a master. So, he is a master of the city of this body. Now, Dwarapure Dehi. He does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. So he does not do anything actually. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. Then why living entity enjoys or suffers through this body? So that is explained because he identifies himself with the body. The moment he identifies himself with the body, right, then bodily behavior, bodily urges, bodily demands, requirements, he feels that these are his own behavior, his own demands, his own requirements, his own urges, and that is how he acts. So because he identifies himself with the body, then whatever body creates, whatever body does, everything he becomes responsible. So what is the solution Lord gives then? So Prabhupada very nicely explains this in the purport. As soon as the living entity becomes aloof from the activities of the body, he becomes free from the reaction as well. As long as he is in the city of body, means we are embodied, he appears to be the master of it, but actually he is neither its proprietor nor controller of its actions and reactions. So we are neither the proprietor of this body nor the controller of actions and reactions. Proprietor is Supreme Lord and controlled by three modes. He is simply in the midst of the material ocean, struggling for existence. The waves of the ocean are tossing him, and he has no control over them. The waves of the ocean are tossing him, and he has no control over them. So how the waves are able to toss him? Because he has identified himself with that body. So now whatever ups and downs of the body come, he feels they are his ups and downs. Whatever pains and pleasures the body gives, he feels they are his pains and pleasures. So this is association with the body. Association means getting influenced by the bodily actions and reactions. So how Lord says it is to be solved? The waves of the ocean are tossing him and he has no control over them. His best solution is to get out of the water by transcendental Krishna consciousness. that alone will save him from all turmoil. Because these waves are coming due to three modes. If somebody is in Satogun, then there will be sattvic waves. The urge of the person will be sattvic. His nature, his behavior, his activities, his liking, disliking, ichha, dvesha, all these things will be sattvic. Somebody is in mode of rajogun, passion, then all his activities will be rajasic, and somebody who is in mode of tamogun, all his activities, behavior, liking, disliking will be tamasic. So modes will have their own effect. And 14th chapter, 10th verse, Lord says, sometimes Satogun overpowers Rajo and Tamogun. Sometimes Rajogun overpowers Sato and Tamogun. And sometimes Tamogun overpowers Sato and Rajogun. So at one point of time, Satogun will be prominent in a person. Right? Like sometimes at home, we used to see child wants something. He wants a bicycle for his birthday, or some cricket kit he wants for birthday. So he'll go to mother and say, I want a bat, ball for my birthday gift, bicycle for my birthday gift. So mother will say, today father is very angry, so we'll not ask today. Tomorrow when his mood is good, then we'll go and ask. So they are waiting for father to come to Satogun. Then there is a likelihood that his requirement will be fulfilled. His birthday demand will be fulfilled. So then they wait next day. हाँ आज पापा अच्छे मूड में है, आज पूछ लो जाके साइकिल. अच्छा ठीक है ले लो बेटा. Then father will say, okay, take bicycle. Evening again he'll be upset. He'll come from office frustrated. No cycle for you. So whatever guna comes, he is behaving like that. He is acting like that. He is also not in control which guna will overpower him, what time. Correct? We have seen so many times, so many places. Oh, आज अच्छे मूड में इनसे आज पूछ लो, ऐसा कर लो, वैसा कर लो, like that. So nobody is in control. Then who is controlling? Right? Like Lord Krishna says, sometimes Satogun will overpower Rajo and Tamogun. So now Satogun has come, but he is not in control. He is not deciding, I want Satogun now. Sometimes people say, I don't want to get angry. I don't want to get angry. Still anger comes. They want Satogun to come. They don't want to get angry, but still it is not happening. Right? They want, but they are not in control. When Tamogun comes, they get angry, they break things, they beat people, all kind of things, violence. So despite hankering for Satogun, people are not able to get Satogun. Then who is controlling? Some people they don't want to be in Satogun. Some people want to be, still they are not. So Maya Devi controls. Right? All three gunas are under Maya Devi. Tribhir gun Mayur. So her three elements or her three instruments are these three gunas. So these three gunas she controls because she has a purpose to be driven through that jiva. She has a purpose to be driven through that jiva. That jiva's desires have to be fulfilled. If jiva has had tamasic desires, she will increase tamogun and make him do those tamasic activities to fulfill his old tamasic desires. If jiva has rajasic desires, then she will increase her rajogun and make that jiva fulfill his old rajasic desires. And if jiva has sattvic desires, he had sattvic, I want to do some good things, then she will increase or she will make the satogun prominent and make him do sattvic activities. And in this way, she controls the uprising of gunas in the jiva. That's how people are unable to control their behavior. Sometimes, like once Abhiram Prabhu, myself and 2-3 devotees went to Sabarmati Central Jail for book distribution, Gita distribution. So we were made to wait in that office, jail office is there. So their jailer was there. So he was telling, so we were discussing about Bhagavad Gita and all this thing very long back. So he told very interesting thing that Swamiji, in this jail, actually 60% people are innocent by nature. Just in the outburst of their anger, they killed somebody or did some crime. Otherwise, we deal with them every day. Real criminals are hanging outside. In jail, 40% are real criminals, 60% innocent people, and they are innocent. That's why they got caught and they are in jail. Those who are professional criminals, they know how to escape, and they are, they are there outside. So he was telling that just in some outburst, we talk to them every day. We engage them in some jail services and all those things. So we know. So just in one outburst, he did something उठा के कुछ मार दिया, चाचा जी मर गए, जेल में आ गया, बस. Otherwise, he is very gentle. In routine, we understand, no, how this thing is. So, and that's how they identify people and propose to government to release some people early also. And sometimes 15 August, 26 January, governor will come, he'll deliver one lecture and then he'll take away some, prisoners. Early release will happen. So, that nature, general nature was silent person or good person. Suddenly there is outburst of one anger which made him do that crime and landed up in jail for 14 years, 10 years, whatever. Isn't it? So who controls that outburst at that time? If he was silent, sattvic, rest of the life, that moment also he could have been silent or sattvic. But Durga Devi has a purpose to fulfill, his old desire. So Durga Devi controls these gunas and she makes a jiva do that activity. Right? She makes a jiva do that activity. So now Lord is saying that these gunas, nobody is in control. I mean, sometimes this will uprise, other will uprise, third one will uprise, and then he will control the living entity, and living entity will act accordingly. So only solution is not to cultivate satogun, but to transcend all the three gunas. That's the only solution. That's why Lord says, Mameve prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. You have to change the association. If one is in transcendental association, then these gunas will not overpower. These gunas will not overcome. But till then, what has to be done? Okay, because the process is purifying. It is a transcendental process. It will purify, but the purification takes time based on the intensity of the practice. But in the whole process of purification, still the effect of gunas is there. Whether it is just diminishing, no doubt, it diminishes, but still gunas will come. So one has to tolerate the urge. One has to tolerate the influence of the gunas. So Lord says in the 5th chapter again, previous to that verse, when the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. So when we are in transcendental association, first the influence of the modes will be there. One has to overcome, one has to control his nature, one has to control the nature and take transcendental help or transcendental association. Then it becomes very easy. So by developing a higher taste, that's why the process of dovetailing is there. The process of dovetailing is that nature is there. Lord Krishna says so much. Lord Krishna speaks. Actually, 2nd chapter onwards, mostly every chapter has mention of 3 modes. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th has 9th. So many chapters have the mention of 3 modes. 16, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All have. So Bhagavad Gita is so much describing about 3 modes. So much. Almost every chapter has a mention of 3 modes, its influence, or how to deal with. Somewhere or the other it is there. If you read carefully, you will realize, oh my God, so much is spoken about 3 modes, and every chapter, heading of the chapter is different. Right? But description is there. 14th chapter is 3 modes of material nature. 17th chapter is divisions of faith. But Bhagavad Gyan, knowledge of the absolute, that also has 3 modes. Attaining the supreme also has 3 modes. So the point is that Lord Krishna speaks about 3 modes and he very clearly says, Sarvar Prakritir Jair Gunaihi. Everybody is born out of his nature, is born with a particular nature. Okay. So everybody is born with a particular nature and he is forced to act according to that nature. What can repression accomplish? So repression cannot accomplish anything. Suppressing the nature will not accomplish anything. So Arjuna asks Krishna that why are you engaging me in this ghastly warfare? Okay. Arjuna asks, if buddhi is superior to karma, then why are you engaging me in this ghastly warfare? So Lord Krishna answers that in 3rd chapter. Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Keshava, why do you urge me to engage in this ghastly warfare if you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work? So, how Lord Krishna answered this question? He answered this question based on three modes. Right? So, totally unexpected answer. Right? He answered this question based on the influence of three modes. So, Lord answers that particular. First, Lord explains in third chapter difference between the path of knowledge and path of karma. Why path of karma is important? Lord explains that even to maintain this body, you need to work, and because the modes are there, you need to work under the influence of modes, and you have to work for performing yagna. Yagna will give you prosperity, yagna will give you liberation, yagna will take you to transcendental state. So, and yagna is born out of yagna karma samudbhava. So, you have to work. By working as yagna, you will get liberated. So, that is the importance of work. Why Krishna is asking Arjuna to work, but particularly why asking him to fight. There could be so many works to do. So, Lord explains this in terms of three modes. Even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows his nature. What can repression accomplish? What can repression accomplish? So everybody follows his own nature. Okay, whatever is the nature of a person, he'll follow. Right? Even if you see Chaitanya Charitamrita, or even if you see Bhagavatam, Krishna pastimes, or so many pastimes, Krishna had so many associate devotees. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, you see Lord Chaitanya had so many devotees are there. Right? And very beautifully, Chaitanya Charitamrita describes individual devotees' nature towards the Lord, his interaction towards him. They are transcendental, no doubt, but even in transcendental realm, devotees have different kinds of varieties of natures to interact with Lord. Those are transcendental natures. In material world also, everybody has his own nature. So Prabhupada very nicely, if you carefully read, Prabhupada says acquired nature. Many places Prabhupada uses this word acquired nature. Acquired means this is not our real nature of being Krishna conscious. This is the nature we have acquired from this material world through three modes. So it is not the real nature of the soul, but this nature is acquired from this material creation. That's called pradhana, or unmanifest stage of three modes. So we acquire three modes from there and act accordingly. So now Lord has told to Arjuna, everybody acts according to his own nature. Now because your nature is of Kshatriya, you are meant to fight. According to that nature, you are meant to fight. So Lord says, if you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. Your nature is to fight as a Kshatriya. So when I am telling you fight, you fight. So your nature will be dovetailed and it will become devotional service. If you don't act according to me, you will go elsewhere. You will find somebody else and you will fight, because the influence of the Kshatriya nature is like that. Kshatriya in Rajogun. Then next verse, Lord says in 18th chapter, under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction. But compelled by your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. Compelled by your nature. And third chapter also Lord said the same thing, that a man of knowledge acts according to his nature, for everyone follows his nature. What can repression accomplish? So nature is compelling. Right? Three modes are compelling. That's why Lord says Mam Maya Duratya. Now what is the solution Lord gives? Attraction and repulsion for sense objects are felt by embodied beings, but one should not fall under the control of senses and sense objects, because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. So one should not fall under the control of senses and sense objects. So how senses and sense objects are controlling? Based on our nature. Different people have sattvic senses, rajasic senses, tamasic senses. Their attraction is like that. Their nature is like that. Isn't it? So their inclinations are like that. But one should not fall under control. And same thing Lord says in the 5th chapter, that one who controls his nature and mentally renounces all action. So one has to first control, one has to stop. Then engage senses, mind, right away engage senses, mind, intelligence in Lord's service by developing higher taste. That is called dovetailing. So Arjuna's question of why engage me in fighting was answered in this way, that everybody acts according to nature. So nature is very compelling, Arjuna. But one has to still control that nature. One has to overcome that nature. And then Lord says it's far better to discharge one's prescribed duties. When one engages in prescribed duties, keeping aside his inclination, liking, disliking, then that is purifying. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though they may be faulty, than another's duties. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties. To follow another's path is dangerous. So we have been assigned prescribed duties, or assigned service is there. So when assigned service is there, right, whether inclination is there or not, whether result is there or not, right, one has to engage in that service, because the service purifies. One has to not just perform the service, one has to associate with that service. Right, one has to associate with that service. Sadhana element is there. Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, purpose of sadhana is to develop attraction towards Lord, right? To develop a desire to attain the Lord. Okay. So to keep mind fixed on the Lord. Same way service is also there. When in previous class we were discussing that a devotee does service. How he does his service? He does his service under the protection of the Lord, depending on the Lord. Right? Yes. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my devotee under my protection reaches my eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So here in these two verses, Lord is explaining that our prescribed duty or service, what are assigned services there, authorized services there, it has another element of association. One is physically doing that service, executing the service and completing that service. Second is associating with the Lord while doing that service. So what are the elements Lord has told? Associating with the Lord means under the protection of the Lord, remembering the Lord, depending on the Lord, right? Though engaged in all kinds of activities, so activities are in physical activity, we are doing some service. My devotee under my protection. So one has to always remember we are under the protection of the Lord because we are engaged in His service. Okay. Reaches my eternal abode and reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. In all activities, just depend upon me. So if success is there, credit goes to Krishna, because by Krishna's grace we could achieve that. So we are remembering Krishna. One is not remembering his own capabilities, own power, or thinking that this is my capability or my skill. And work always under my protection. So if the service is authorized, it's given by Krishna, Guru, means through authority system, then there is a protection. Even though it may look like dangerous, or it may look like may not be successful or whatever, but there is always protection, because when one engages in service through parampara, through the disciplic succession, through authority system, then there is Lord's protection in that service. So one should always remember that I am doing authorized service, so I will be protected. So one is constantly conscious about the Lord. One is constantly conscious about the spiritual master, Guru, that yes, I am engaged through Guru. No. We sing in Mangalarti, the third verse, Yuktaiva Bhaktam Sanyunjatopi. So Guru engages a disciple in service. Based on the disciples, what will purify the disciple? What will purify the disciple? Right? Based on that, what will rapidly make him progress? Based on that, Guru engages a disciple. So having that faith that I am engaged in this service based on my spiritual master's discretion, his assessment, his judgment, which is perfect. So one depends on the Lord, depends on his protection, remembers the Lord, prays to the Lord, and then being fully conscious of me. So whatever is happening in the service, all the processes, all the success, all the failure, result, all the difficulties, Lord is constantly, Lord says Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, Lord is in full control. Okay, sometimes we'll do service, something gets spoiled, or something doesn't happen the way we want. you have to redo it, or something gets, irreparable damage happens to that object or that thing, whatever work we are doing, we have to restart from afresh. So many things are there, but as long as we are sincerely trying to do, we are depending on the Lord and trying our best. We are trying our best to put our best intelligence, best energy, best effort, best time, and after that something happens, we should depend on Lord. So we should take a lesson. So service involves being conscious of the Lord. So service also has association of the Lord. Like sadhana has association of the Lord, service also has association of the Lord. Apart from that, devotees have association of the Lord. When we take prasadam, we are associating with prasadam, remembering every morsel. Krishna bada doyamoy, kori bare jiva joy, so prasadam na dilo bhai. So there is a conscious effort to remember Lord, to associate with Lord and His mercy in different ways. Right? To associate with Lord and His mercy in different ways. So in this way, when one is, so whole thing is designed in such a way that we can always remember Krishna, always associate with Krishna, then this material influence will not come. Even things will come before us. We will have that discretion to say yes or no to them. Prabhupada explains this, that we read in 3rd chapter, अहंकार विमूढ़ात्मा कर्ता हम इति मन्यते प्रकृते क्रियामाणानि गुणे कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढ़ात्मा कर्ता हम इति मन्यते. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the 3 modes of material nature, he is under the influence of 3 modes. A non-devotee is under the influence of 3 modes. 3 modes. The proprietor of the city, he is transcendental. He does not create activities, nor does he induce people to create activities, nor does he create results. He does nothing. But prakriti kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha. Bewildered person, bewildered spirit soul, he thinks he is the doer. Under the influence of the material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of activities. This is the flaw, which are in actuality carried out by nature. 3 modes are making him do, but he is thinking I am doing, so he gets implicated. Now, this is what a non-devotee, he is helpless. His gunas will force him to think like that, and he is helpless. But for a devotee is not helpless. Prabhupada says that for a devotee there is a discretion to do or to not do. In 2nd chapter, 64th verse, purport, Prabhupada says, if Krishna wants, the devotee can do anything which is ordinarily undesirable. And if Krishna does not want, he shall not do that which he would have ordinarily done for his own satisfaction. Therefore, to act or not to act is within his control, because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. This consciousness is causeless mercy of the Lord, which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform. So, to devotee, Lord gives that option, but for non-devotee, whichever guna that time Maya Devi raises, he is forced to act under that guna. For him there is no option, no choice. He is totally bound. Guna means rope, and one is tightly bound by the rope. So for non-devotee, Maya Devi decides. Now he has to come under Rajogun, Tamogun, Satogun, and he has to act like this, and this is the karma he will get. Right? This is the resultant, this thing he will get, fruit he will get out of it. He is forced, but a devotee is not actually forced. This is special mercy. To act or to not act is within his control, because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. This consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord. Despite, which one devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform. So devotee may not be pure devotee, but still Lord gives him a chance to decide act or not act based on Lord's direction. So this is how one can overcome this association or influence. So association means to get influenced. We'll stop here. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Vishnu Krishna Prabhupada ki jai.